You're listening to The Luxury Item, the podcast on the business of luxury and the people and companies that are shaping the future of the luxury industry. Here's your host, Scott Kerr.
My guest on The Luxury Item is Frédéric Fekkai, one of the most recognized and respected names in the beauty industry for the last 3 decades. Since the Provence-born hair guru opened up his first salon atop Bergdorf Goodman in New York City in 1989, and drawing an impressive roster of celebrity clientele, he's continued to make a name for himself as a forward-thinking visionary and entrepreneur. Frédéric Fekkai transformed hair care from an everyday commodity to luxurious, benefit-rich products scientifically formulated to address the needs of the hair. Many hair care brand founders and leaders openly credit Mr. Fekkai for creating the luxury hair category. The run hasn't always been an easy one for Mr. Fekkai. He sold his business several times and even tried to buy it back when he saw it was being mismanaged. He finally reacquired his namesake brand in partnership with Cornell Capital in 2018. Today, Frédéric Fekkai continues his pioneering legacy with the launch of his namesake brand, combining his legendary expertise on everything hair with his focus on creating innovative, high-performance products. Welcome to The Luxury Item, Frédéric.
Thank you for having me, Scott.
Thank you so much for joining me. I've been really looking forward to speaking with you.
Me too. I'm delighted to be here with you. I love your podcast, and I was listening the interview you made, especially the one with Amish from LVMH.
Oh, yeah, Anish Mawani.
Oh, my God, it was fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, you and your namesake brand have maintained a strong presence in the beauty arena for decades, but early on, getting into the beauty and hair care business wasn't really on your radar. The path was going to be a lawyer. How did that path change?
Well, let me tell you first, Scott, I was not planning to go to law school. My first wish, my first desire was to go to a fine art school in Paris called Les Beaux-Arts. That was where I was aspired to go, and I was actually accepted to go. And my dad did not agree to that and didn't want to endorse me going to that school. So I had no choice but to go to law school to please him. But shortly after, I was lucky to meet, because I was doing some modeling on the side just to earn a little bit of money. And lucky enough, I met a very talented, successful stylist, hairstylist, and makeup artist who was doing a photo shoot and a commercial. And that's how I discovered a world that I didn't know existed. It was incredible. And I loved what that business was doing. And I loved the fact that, this is a business where you make people.
You probably would have been bored being a lawyer.
Well, and also, I don't think, it's in me. I don't like to be sitting on a desk for long. I don't like to read documents forever. I'm ADD, so I need action. I need visual. I need to see things. So this job, doing hair, was fulfilling and satisfying all the boxes I needed. Travel, meeting people. There was a business part of it. There was a creative part of it. It was incredible that this came to me.
So you opened the first luxury salon and spa atop New York's Bergdorf Goodman in 1989, where your talent and eye for detail quickly drew an impressive roster of celebrity and high-powered executive clientele. How did you leverage that golden opportunity at Bergdorf to craft the idea of beauty hospitality?
And because I'm a different breed of a hairstylist, hairdresser, because of, I guess, my background, I never really, Scott, it's so important that you hear this. I never liked, even today, I do not like hair salon for what they stand for. They're too pedestrian, they're too banal, they're not chic enough, they don't do what I want to do. So I needed to create something different. I didn't even call it a salon. I called it a beauty center because I wanted to make sure it was delivering an experience to the customer unparalleled. None to the best. So I wanted to make sure that my customer had the most amazing time. So I created a place where you could get your hair done, your makeup, you could get, there was a facial, massages, pedicure, and so on. So in fact, women's wear daily called it the first day spa.
Hmm.
And back then, and I hate to date me, but back then, this is 1989, there was no cellular phone. So I did put a landline at every station. That was unheard of. And again, because I want to make sure that the customer who came there had a wow. To me, my business is about creating a wow. This is what it is. What is my business model? Is wow.
Wow. Was there any inspiration from luxury hotels at the time? Because they're all about hospitality as well. Was there any inspiration that you were seeing from the Plaza or
Absolutely.
things like that?
Absolutely. It was, that's why women's what they call the first day spa. I mean, there was a great inspiration. First of all, I had also a cafe that was unheard of, no
Right,
salon
right.
at the time. I had a cafe, so we were serving all day long, breakfast, lunch, snack, drinks on a silver platter. So that was basically a great amenity like in a hotel. Our staff had a uniform that was not just like a uniform coming from an industry, but designed by Ralph Lauren, by Calvin Klein one year, Asdin Alaya, Marc Jacobs. So I had incredible, elevated, if you will, the level of salons.
Were other salons trying to copy what you were doing? Were you onto something that everybody said, okay, I need to try this?
Yeah, I think, I think, and I know a lot of people try to. The problem is, when you copy in general, it's already never original. And
Right.
also, it's never, it has never really created news because it was already done by me. But also, what I'm proud of is basically that if you Google the top 10 or 12 salons in New York City, they are former employee of mine.
Hmm.
So it's nice that I created and I breeded, if you will, a pool of talent that are elevating the hair salon business.
In any business, the better you know your customers, the easier it is for you to produce products and services and experiences that suit them perfectly. And running your own salon, I would imagine the customer interactions were frequent and vocal. How did listening to your salon customers refine your strategies and innovate new products?
I treat my salon like a laboratory and also like a focus group. The salon is really the soul of the brand. So listening to our customer is extremely essential. It has refined our strategies. We have done great NPD, new product development because of them. I mean, look at, for instance, I created a shampoo for preserving hair color. And when you think about it, I'm the first one who did this, and I only created that. I don't want to get even credit. It's because my customers were complaining that the color was fading away. And that's how I came up with that idea. Then I had, a customer complaining that their color were turning green or blue after swimming in the pool, things like that. So I created a whole apple cider clearing rinse, who was removing all the chlorine and restoring the hair to their natural color. But it's all created by the demand of our customer.
I want to fast forward a little bit. You had already launched your own collection soon after that. It was very successful. But a little bit later, P&G acquired Fekkai as part of an aggressive play to grow its beauty business. P&G was spending millions of dollars on buying luxury-leaning brands like Frédéric Fekkai and forming partnerships with designer brands like Valentino and Dolce & Gabbana to sell perfumes in high-end department stores, a far departure from the long-honed strategy of mass marketing everyday staples, which P&G has been known for. So watching this go down from the sidelines, were you thinking that the soul of your brand, the clarity of purpose of your brand was slipping away?
First of all, I have to say, to backtrack a little bit, when I sold the brand to the P&G, at the time, P&G, I was sold, at the time, P&G, by the way, it was the Chris de la Puente,
Yeah.
who is now the LVMH, but he had great intention. He had amazing intention, not only for Fekkai, but for all the brands that they had. He wanted to create a new prestige category that will compete with Estée Lauder and L'Oreal. So I bought into that. But unfortunately, 9 months later, he and his team left. So the brand fell on the lap of a new team that had no interest. And so, what they did is they really kill this whole prestige idea and divest most of the brand. And Fekkai just felt lost. He was like an orphan, if you will, because, Fekkai is not Pantene. Fekkai, right. It was a brand that was, double-digit growth, but in luxury. So it was the number one brand at Sephora. And back then, the department stores were doing much better. So it was in Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's, and so on. So the brand was having great traction in prestige, and it always has been a brand of innovation and pioneering, great new product. P&G is more about, big marketing, TV commercial, and and basic. It's about basic. Here, this brand was more sharp, more edgy, and they really didn't understand it, and they didn't have the culture, the culture and the manpower to manage this brand. So the brand went to sit at CVS and Walgreens and Target and all these places where they have their collection of brands like Pantene, Herbal Essence, and Head & Shoulder, and so on. So Fekkai was not in the right place, and I saw that, and I saw he hurt me, and then when the opportunity arose to be bought back, that's how I came in.
You can't keep a good entrepreneur down. You soon announced the launch of a new beauty brand, Bastide, a naturally based personal care business featuring local artisans from Provence. You and your wife acquired this 26-year-old Aix-en-Provence company called Côté Bastide and transformed it into a new brand. Can you briefly talk about where you saw the business opportunity with Bastide?
It was very interesting because this is at a time where I was not working anymore in the hair with the P&G. So I felt like I needed to create something new. And when I saw this brand, Côté Bastide, I was seduced and I fell in love because my wife and I were a big customer of this brand. I fell in love with what it stood for. It was celebrating the artisans. It was celebrating the terroir of France, but also Provence and the Mediterranean basin. It had all the essence that were sensorial, and very much about wellness, fitness, beauty, and lifestyle. And I love that. I thought it was great because I love brand that makes people feel good and beautiful. And I love the fact that this woman who created that brand was a pioneer. She started in 1990, and it's amazing that she was the first one to use only glass and aluminum, no plastic, everything was all recyclable. It was incredible. So I love that, and I thought, why not? Let's do that with beauty as well. So, and that's how my wife and I acquired this brand.
And I think the most exciting news for you was when you finally bought back your namesake brand and business in 2018 in partnership with private equity firm Cornell Capital. Did you feel reborn again?
I thought that was an incredible time because I thought, what, my God, I know the market is more competitive, more saturated, but I still thought that, Fekkai back into the prestige would have an amazing opportunity, not only in the US, but internationally as well. Because there's not too many, there is a few brands, but not too many brands who aspire to make the customer feel pampered, feel good. And also, for me, the most important thing about Fekkai, if you ask me what it is we need to deliver trust, to make sure that our customer trusts us for the performance, for the sensorial feeling of it, and for satisfaction. So I think buying it back with the Cornell Capital was a great idea to really go and fill a void that exists in our business.
The beauty business and consumer has changed a lot since P&G acquired the company 10 years earlier. You are now facing much stiffer competition from an influx of newer, more social media friendly brands that push product innovation boundaries, especially within the clean beauty and beauty science spaces. And of course, celebrities branching out into their own hair care business. It's becoming harder and harder to stand out in a saturated market. So now that you were back in the saddle, what approach did you take to navigating the crowded canvas of the beauty market?
First, and it took a while to do that, to be honest with you. But first, it was very important to get back to the archive and to the legacy of the brand and what we stand for. And we got confused at the beginning with the new management team, but then went back in track because we were confused and trying to compete with the other brand like a Glossier and so on, who were completely veered and targeting the Gen Z and the millennial. So that was where we got a little bit lost. But then now we are back to what the brand was, to really address our 45 plus customer. I mean, it's a big customer. It's a great one.
Yeah.
It's amazing spending, it's sophisticated, and so on. That doesn't mean that we ignore or alienate millennial and Gen Z. I think they actually discovering this brand through their parents or friends.
Right.
So I think we want to get back to our archive and to really create what Fekkai stands for. It's about luxury. It's about glamour. It's about storytelling. It's about the French flair, and it's about also coming with product with the new innovation and new ingredients, things that are triggering surprise and interest.
Consumer attitudes towards personal care have rapidly evolved after the most challenging years of the pandemic. Many emerged with a renewed set of priorities for self-care. What trends in hair care did you see take shape, and how did those trends inform your product development, ingredients, and formulas?
What is interesting is that, pre-COVID, there was a lot of issues with hot tool,
Mm-hmm.
So customer had a lot of problem with their hair being burned or lacking luster. And so we had to use treatment to restore that. Then COVID has developed a new issue, which was hair loss, hair thinness,
Stress.
So hair lacking, body, style, and so on. So we had to veer and be agile to create products that are, regenerating the scalp and restoring the hair. This is how we came up with, our line called Super Strength.
Mm-hmm.
Super Strength, it's a bonding, it's a triple bonding technology that helps, fuse the hair, the shaft of the hair, so that the hair doesn't feel, fuzzy and limb, and so this has to now make the hair like a fiber and stronger. And the scalp we have scrub like with the apple cider detox, a scrub that helps regenerate the follicle, give the blood flow of the scalp a little bit more oxygen and helps the hair to grow better and also bring some fullness and shine to the hair.
Everybody's out and about right now. They're obviously going out and dining and going to parties and things like that. Are many of the trends now similar to pre-COVID, or has that evolved as well?
It has evolved in a sense that now, post-COVID, people are much more caring and managing their hair in a different way. It's about, great treatment. It's about, great style. Our salon is packed every day.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because people wanted to go back to really get a style, get the hair freshly groomed. They want to feel that, they are looking healthy and sophisticated and confident. So post-COVID, everybody's really spending time about treating their hair, and our methodology, which is the skinification of the hair, really goes hand in hand with them and have this incredible holistic approach to beauty and hair.
Are they asking more questions about ingredients and formulas?
They do. So this is a very important question, Scott. They do. But customer that come to Fekkai, they already have, if you will, a trust and understand our culture and our philosophy. So they know that we are about great ingredients, great innovation, sophistication. The whole skinification to the hair I invented. So they already know that. So that's great. But they are also very cautious of what goes into their hair. They always are, which is good. However, customers are not buying product because they are natural, sustainable. That's false.
Right.
I mean, maybe some, but at the end of the day, and I learned this, I paid a big price on this because we went and use an amazing spending on marketing to market a sustainable and clean formula. Customer, yeah, they appreciate it, but it's not their main reason to buy the product. They want a product that has great performance, great technology, great science.
So aside from listening to your salon customers, do you look at market research and trend analysis to understand changing consumer demands and preferences?
Yes, absolutely. However, Scott, you're talking to a creative here. So
Yeah.
you have a team. You have a team that I have a team that has data. I look at some of the data and data and all this, and it's really great. And I think it's fantastic to have data. However, for me, it's great to read it because I want to be learning and educated about it. But I don't want this to influence me in any way because I'm not the only one reading the data. Everybody does. Right. So if everybody does the same thing that what the data tells them to do, there is no creativity. I mean, I don't see Steve Jobs reading a data to invent an iPhone. You know what I mean? So I don't want to compare myself to Steve Jobs, but that's the idea I have.
Yeah.
To me, it's about creating things that no one else does. That's all.
Yeah. Steve Jobs is all about creating things that they didn't know they needed.
Exactly. Yes. And I have the same approach for hair myself. When you think about it, L'Oreal and P&G were the #1 selling of hair color product, and I'm the one creating a shampoo that address hair color. So it's they didn't think about it. I did. So it shows you that they have more access to data than I do, but I did it because my gut feeling and my customer told me about it. Okay, and the same thing with the shea butter. Shea butter never existed in America. I was the one who brought it back from France, and France had it from West Africa, and and all the property, the benefit that shea butter has was amazing for hair and skin, and that's how we enchanted and delighted our customer with new idea, new ingredients like that.
The outlook for the global beauty industry is rosy in the years ahead. Consumers are continuing to splurge on premium cosmetics and skincare purchase amid the downward pressures impacting other consumer sectors. But being part of that growth will require brands to deploy more sophisticated strategies than they did during the years preceding COVID-19's upheaval. Where do you see the opportunities for Fekkai to thrive amid this hyper-competitive hair care category and rapid innovation and product cycles?
I think, the way I want to stay to the course, it's
Right.
about a skinification to the hair. It's about innovation. I'm constantly trying to look at and talk to the chemist about creating a new product. It's about, we're lucky to have a salon. It's about to make sure that the salon delivers the 6-star hotel experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's about telling the story and to deliver, again, to boost the confidence and deliver trust to our customer. To me, this is where I spend most of my time. But I want to make sure that the customer identify us for being on the cutting edge, always innovation, and having a very strong performance product with also a sensorial. This is very important. Sensorial feeling. The fragrance is very important in my product. It's not overpowering. It's the first scent you have throughout the day. You wake up, before your coffee, you go and shampoo your hair. So that's the first scent. You want to make sure that this affects you the best way.
So, your current distribution channel is primarily direct to consumer. In the US, it's carried in all of Ulta Beauty's locations. I know you had plans to expand your global footprint. Have you made your way into Europe and Southeast Asia yet?
Yes, so we do, but I want to say, Scott, that the main priority for us is really about the US. The US is the biggest market. It's where we are. So it's important for us. And so we focus and concentrate most of our effort and marketing into the US. We have a big partner, Ulta, who has 1,400 doors in America. So we have a lot to cover there. And so that's where we spend our time. But we are also, present in the UK, in France, a little bit in Switzerland, and Italy, but the Middle East. But it's not a big distribution. It's very much selected. We are in very prestigious stores, and we want to keep it that way so that we don't get too distracted and dispersed.
A few months ago, you launched your first ever professional ambassador program, the Fekkai 5 collection. It brings together 5 of the influential celebrity hairstylists to celebrate the 35th anniversary, the brand's 35th anniversary. Can you talk about this program and what you're hoping it does for the brand?
I think this is interesting because, everybody is going to, to go and sign up influencers. And we did that too. I think it's sometimes very misleading the way you do that. So we wanted to make sure we had, first of all, 5 great professionals that had checked the box of all the things we do. So the culture of the brand, Fekkai. So I want to make sure they were aligned with the culture of Fekkai, the aesthetic, and also their appeal, the way they are. And we wanted also to not force them to be exclusive to us, because that is forced and it doesn't work very well. So I want to make sure they also use the product they care and like for. But when they do that, when they really endorse Fekkai, they do it with passion, they do it with authenticity, they're genuine, so it's believable. I do not like when we do, a social influencer for just a transaction. It smells like that. It doesn't well, and it's not converting very well. Here, I think, with these 5 wonderful ambassadors, it's more genuine, it's more real, and it really helps putting our brand in the right place in the world. I mean, on the red carpet, on the, on social media and editorial as well.
So my final question, Frédéric, is the luxury item question, which I ask all my guests. So if you were stranded on a deserted island and you could only have one single luxury item with you, what would that luxury item be? It can't be any form of air or water transportation to get you off that island, or anything that requires mobile service, so you can call somebody to get you off that island. It's just you on this lonely island with palm trees and sand and lots of ocean, maybe a crab walking up on the shore. What would that single luxury item you would like to have with you on this deserted island?
I'm not sure if you've seen me, but I have a dark hair, very strong, very thick, and also darker skin tone. So Fekkai has a wonderful product, which has been, by the way, the hero product for years and years, called the glossing cream. And the glossing cream has, again, because our product is skinification to the hair, so it's based on skincare science. So I would have the brilliant glossing cream for Fekkai, for my hair and for my body, because I'm sure it's going to be sunny and need a protection.
What I love about that answer the most is that you're on brand. Frédéric Fekkai, founder of Fekkai Brands, thank you so much for joining me on The Luxury Item.
Thank you very much, Scott.
That's it for this episode of the Luxury Item Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this useful and entertaining, I would be really grateful if you can share it with a friend or colleague. I would love it if you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It really helps other listeners find us. The Luxury Item Podcast is a production of Silvertone Consulting. I'm your host, Scott Kerr. Until next time.